sometimes the best way to understand something complex and abstract is with a carefully chosen metaphor. In 1989, Gareth Morgan suggested 8 different metaphors that we can use to help us to understand the nature of organisations. No one of these metaphors completely captures the nature of an organisation on its own. But if we bring together all 8 of them, we can look at organisations from a range of different perspectives and gain a better understanding. So in this video, I want to look at Gareth Morgan's 8 organisational metaphors. Morgan's first metaphor is of the organisation as a machine. This is a metaphor that stresses the importance of process and efficiency. But it does so, of course, at the cost of the human dimension of an organisation. There is little place for people in a machine. And consequently, it also serves to emphasise the importance of rigid structure at the cost of compromising an organisation's agility and ability to flex. However, Morgan's second metaphor, that of the organisation as an organism, addresses this because, of course, organisms adapt to their environments. The problem with this, though, of course, is that if an organism fails to adapt, then it fails to survive. And that holds a very valuable lesson for us in thinking about how organisations really work. Morgan's third metaphor is of the organisation as a brain. It focuses on information processing. It sees an organisation as something that takes in knowledge and information through its senses and is able to process that information and use it to a benefit. It sees organisations as creative and rational entities. And rather like real brains, organisations are in fact limited by their ability to gather information universally. Organisations, like our brains, focus on specific pieces of information and they have limitations in their ability to process it. So the brain metaphor adds something else of value to our understanding of organisations. Morgan's fourth perspective is of organisations as cultures. Each organisation has its own set of values and beliefs and traditions and rituals. It is a bundle of these. And to the extent that people within the organisation share those beliefs, share those values, share those traditions, then that strengthens the organisation. But it can also give it a certain rigidity. And without a doubt, culture is important in understanding the nature of a specific organisation. In fact, there is an important quote that culture eats strategy for lunch. That is to say, if you want your organisation to succeed, then get the culture right. That is far more important than having the right strategy, but a poor culture. Fifth, Morgan saw organisations as political systems. This stresses the role of different interests and agendas, the roles of networking, alliances, influences, and yes, of power. And without doubt, every interaction within an organisation is a political interaction. And if you are to be a successful manager within any organisation, you need to grow political acumen. You need to understand how people operate in a political environment and develop the skills to operate effectively yourself. Morgan's sixth metaphor takes us to the dark side. He sees organisations as psychic prisons. They can repress and restrain the people within the organisation, confining them to a set of behaviours and a set of traditions and rituals which may not suit them well. Not everybody enjoys working within their organisation, and in that sense, organisations can be toxic to the people within them. He notes that this can arise from both unconscious and conscious choices and norms of behaviour within the organisation. If you are running an organisation, if you are an important part of an organisation, and you feel it is to you or to the people around you some form of psychic prison, you need to look back at the culture and what elements of the culture are consciously or unconsciously restraining you and the people around you. Morgan's 7th metaphor is one of flux and transition. Morgan sees organisations as constantly changing and adapting to the environment within which they find themselves. That adaptation can be planned and well organised, or it can be chaotic. And recognising that, we can see that one of the roles for senior managers in the organisation is to get the rate of change and the amount of control right for that organisation's culture and for the environment it finds itself in. The more chaotic you are, typically the more nimbly you can adapt to situations. But the less control that you have over how you do that, and therefore the lower the levels of accountability and the greater the levels of uncertainty for people within the organisation. And finally, Morgan saw organisations as instruments of domination. They are a means to overcome and dominate their competition, socially, economically, or politically. Or indeed, in the case of militaristic organisations, even physically. No one of these metaphors is sufficient to understand an organisation. It's when we bring them all together that we can see different dimensions of what organisations are and how they work. Morgan's 8 metaphors are a powerful way to get insights into what organisations are, how they work, and therefore what your role is within the organisation you work for. Please do give us a thumbs up if you like this video. There's loads more great management courses content to come, so please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of it. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.